What is going on, guys? It's Yoji. A recent popular request has been, Yoji, update all of your old build guides for 2.2. Well, that's not really going to be possible at all, because making build guide videos takes a lot of time, and what takes even more time is making those builds. Because whenever I make a build guide, I really want to play the build from the ground up, tell you about the leveling experience, tell you how the build fares in endgame and all the stages in between, basically. And yeah, I want to make sure that those builds will serve you well. And that basically takes way too much time to complete for me, leading to Ascendancy. So instead, I will, in this video, just give you a few pointers and share my thoughts on how you could make these builds work in 2.2 without actually having tested it. So this is all theory crafting, but I will share with you which Ascendancy classes I think will work well. And yeah, overall what I think the builds I made could be in the upcoming patch. Let's start off with the easy to update ones. The Righteous Firestormer will work really well as a Chieftain. You get a ton of life regen and fire damage from this Ascendancy tree. I'd most likely pick up Nugamahu, Flames Advance. The Ignite chance synergizes well with the multiple hits from Firestorm. Hinekora, Death's Fury, will grant the build even more leech, and the extra fire pen is great too. Lastly, I recommend picking up Tavoha, Forest Strength, which synergizes well with Iron Will. And all the other defensive stats are nice to have too. Ramako, Sun's Light, is a solid alternative for the regeneration at full endurance charges, as the build has no trouble at all generating those. An updated passive tree will be in the video description below. Next up is the Triple Totem Magic Finder. In the past, this build could always be pulled off as a Witch, Templar and Marauder. Taking the Ascendancy classes into account, I would only recommend a Templar or Marauder though. For the solo Magic Find version, the Marauder's Chieftain would likely be the easiest option to pull off. But it will also work greatly for the group-oriented Culler. Arohongui, Moon's Presence, is great for defense and offense in both scenarios. Enemies taking more and dealing less damage near your totems is very strong. Tukohama, War's Herald, will make your totems tanky, which is great for the endgame color setup, as well as allow them to do extra damage and taunt for added survivability in solo play. Tawoha adds extra defenses a magic finder can always use. The Templar's Hierophant will probably not work as well for solo play, but it excels at calling for large parties. Being able to set up 2 additional totems will help you get way more killing blows, even in a full group rushing through endgame maps. At the same time, Divine Guidance will increase your defenses as well as make it easier to keep up divination distillate. Both passive trees can of course be found in the video description below. Now for the resolute technique, elemental, lightning arrow, totems. There are many ways to possibly pull this build off in the new patch, but my favorite one always was using the pierce gem and a drill neck. Hence the Scion's Deadeye is great for the extra pierce chance. And the pierce support gem, now also granting a more multiplier, is a great buff as well. I tried a few things out using Path of the Ranger for the alternative starting point, but in the end I did not really feel it was worth it. For single target, the build now likely will use Blast Rain, while lightning arrow is still great for AoE. The second class choice I made was taking the Chieftain, so I would be a DeadChief. The extra damage and life regen while placing totems seems to be the best bonus available. And you guessed right, the passive tree is in the video description. The Summoner leveling build will work best as a Necromancer. Pick up Mistress of Sacrifice and Normal for safer spellcaster leveling with Bone Offering or damage from Flesh Offering, if that's what you want. Then proceed to pick up Flesh Binder and Soul Weaver to buff your minions and specters by a huge amount. Everything else will most likely work just as described in the video. Now I have 3 more build guides out there. Crit Ice Spear with EB Momzio, Hybrid ES Life Evasion Crit Lightning Strike, and the Lazy Windripper. First up, I would not recommend the Lazy Windripper at this point. I'm sure Windripper will still make for great builds in 2.2, but there are simply better ones out there than my build guide. The Crit Ice Spear build can probably work in 2.2, but there are so many options available for it, it seems difficult to judge what will be best without thorough testing. And that is even more true for the Hybrid Lightning Striker, mostly because there are so many options for it now. I could see it work as a Trickster of course, but also a Raider, Pathfinder or Deadeye, or an Assassin if you want to max out on crit. I will just throw some skill trees out there for you to play around with. I hope this video helped those of you out who want to try one of my builds in the upcoming league. I personally will be playing an Earthquake champion, which I will cover in a separate video before Ascendancy goes live, for those of you who also want to try Earthquake out. And that's it! If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe or check out my channel for more Path of Exile content. And check out my Twitch channel for live streams, or my Twitter for random thoughts and updates and whatever else comes to mind. Until then, I am Yoji, and I will see you soon.